You've ever been to an old car show or seen a movie with old cars like this 1937 Ford and wondered, why are the headlights so dim? It seems like they're yellow and you can barely see. Well, that's because these cars don't use a standard headlight like you're used to seeing. I just happen to have one right here, like a standard lamp that would be in cars all the way up to a couple of years ago. They actually used a 6-volt bulb, like a taillight bulb, but they have one for the headlight. This 1937 Ford has this glass factory lens with optics to help brighten the light up. But I'll turn it on here in a second. I'll show you how dim it actually is with the 6-volt system. And then I've got a neat new old stock option from way back in the day that they would do to these cars so they could run a modern style headlight and make it a lot more user-friendly to be able to see in the dark. So first, let's turn on the 6-volt lamp and see how actually dim this headlight is. First, I turn a switch to the right, I get the marker light or the parking light. So these cars didn't come with turn signals, and up to the 1950s cars, most of the cars didn't have turn signals. So this car does not have turn signals. That's a parking light, so if you're on the side of the road, or at the grocery store, you could sit with the parking lights on. If I turn that off, I can turn the switch this way and turn on the headlights. Now that is the 6-volt headlight lamp. Now let me turn off the lights and we'll just see how dim these headlights are. As you can see, they're yellow. They don't project very far. It's hard to tell inside this building, but they don't project very far and they are very dim in the dark. So all the early Ford cars, when they started using headlight lamps with a 6-volt system, had a similar light output to this 1937 Ford. In 1940, they went to the modern style sealed beam headlight, like you're used to seeing on your modern car. But what if I had a 1937 Ford and I didn't have the money to buy a 1940 or newer car with a sealed beam headlight, but I wanted to use the car in the dark and have it be more effective, especially on newer highways and stuff in the 1940s and things like that? Well, the aftermarket, way back in the day, came up with an answer. I just happen to have it right here. You could buy a sealed beam conversion kit for your car. They made these for all makes and models. We've got one here for a 37 to 39 Ford. You could buy these like at J.C. Whitney or at the auto parts store back in the day. This is made by the Universal Part Company out of Chicago, Illinois. It's the Universal Guaranteed Economy Efficient Beautiful Parking Light Built-in Headlight Adapter Set. New old stock in the box, probably from the mid-1940s or so. So the beauty of this kit is they give you a sealed beam conversion ring that comes with your marker light, which we saw when I first turned the headlights on, the parking light. It comes with that. And then it comes with a headlight rim that screws on and attaches just like the stock trim ring would on this car. But it has a ring here, so you can put your modern sealed beam style lamp into this housing and then bolt it onto the car and have modern sealed beam lamp technology in your early 6-volt lamp powered headlights. So I'm not going to actually take this rim off and put it on here, but we'll hold it up here. So this would go onto the car, take off the stock bug eye lenses, screw on this trim. A lot of times they're painted silver like this to keep the costs down. These are probably like $15 or something like that at the store back in the day. And you got it all just like this, painted steel in silver that would bolt right onto the front of the car and give you the sealed beam conversion. So I just happened to be working on this 1940 Mercury, which has a similar headlight hole to the 37 Ford we just looked at. So I can show you what it looks like if you actually hold it up to the fender where it's supposed to be. Obviously the headlight's not in the trim ring like it should be, but it would bolt onto the car just like that. You'd a couple of screws and plug in your light to the socket harness. They made these kits for all types of cars from the 20s up to the late 30s. All makes and models. You could get different ones for it. Obviously this is a Ford one, but this is what it would look like installed on the fender with your modern headlight. So there we go. I've answered the question, why are the lights so dim and what can we do about it? An aftermarket new old stock conversion kit. Obviously back in the day you would have driven this car every day to work to haul the family to church, to do whatever you needed. And if you didn't want to be able to not see in the dark, you could go to the auto parts store and buy these and put an aftermarket conversion kit on. And you'll see some cars with these on them nowadays, but this is a nice new old stock set here in the box. And that's how you put modern sealed beam conversion headlights on your old antique Ford or other car. So pretty interesting, pretty neat old stuff here to look at, and appreciate you watching. I try to do neat old stuff videos every Saturday, and you can catch other videos on Wednesdays and Sundays where I do old car builds, rescues, will it run, stuff like that. But on Saturdays I try to do a little neat old stuff video, and these headlight conversion rings are today's neat old stuff video.